I will explain about the drug mechanism. So for now, any question for muscle contraction? So maybe no. Okay. Everyone is very smart. Okay, fine. Okay. Now we will proceed to the drug mechanism action. Okay, so there are two basic drug mechanism action that you need to learn in our syllabus. First is cocaine, and another one is Curare. Only these two. Others we don't learn. Others we not learn because we are not doctor. We don't need to learn all the drug. Only two, cocaine and also Curare. Okay. So I think cocaine. What is the cocaine? I think I don't need to explain lah. I think you can see any news, especially in Europe country or American country. Cocaine is very popular at there for the drug lah. Okay. So normally, if you see the why we say that when the people consume cocaine will cause addiction. Why? This is the mechanism, you know. Okay, so why we say that in scientific knowledge, in biology knowledge, or in doctor or in medical knowledge, why we say that cocaine can cause addiction? You see this diagram. So normally, cocaine will relate to the neurotransmitter we known as dopamine that I already mentioned about the yesterday. So normally dopamine is play the role in normally is stimulation process, and also you still remember that dopamine is play the role in memorization, right? Yeah. Normally you see that dopamine is play the role in excitation and inhibition, and also brain mood and motivation and reward. So it like the mood lah, like the mood or mood of the person. It will affect the mood of the person, right? So rasa lah, in bahasa Melayu rasa lah, perasaan seseorang. Dopamine play the role. Okay, so in cocaine, how cocaine play the role? Inhibit the action of the dopamine. Okay, so in this diagram, the left hand side is the normal situation of the synapse that occur. So you see this diagram, similar synaptic nerve containing dopamine, and then this dopamine, once the neural signal is released, dopamine will be released, and then it will bind to the receptor on the postsynaptic neuron, right? And then I already mentioned the neurotransmitter cannot stay along the synaptic cleft one. It need to recycle back again. Either it use another protein channel to recycle back, or using enzyme. So for dopamine, it will using the ion channel. One type of the channel, which is dopamine uptake channel, it will uptake the dopamine back to the presynaptic neuron. This is the normal situation, because if the dopamine stay inside the synaptic cleft, it will trigger the action again and again, because dopamine play the role in trigger neurotransmitter play the role in trigger action, right? So when it bind again, it will trigger the action potential for postsynaptic neuron. It bind again, it will trigger again, and then at the same time, there are also the presynaptic neuron will release the dopamine again. So the dopamine will be increased in amount rather than decrease. Okay, so this is what happened in drug. In cocaine, when the people consume cocaine, the cocaine will block the uptake of the dopamine molecule on the presynaptic neuron. They akan block. Meaning that dopamine totally cannot recycle back into the presynaptic neuron, and it will accumulate at here. So accumulate at here. So meaning it will bind toward the binding receptor of the postsynaptic neuron again and again. And at the same time, when there are neural signal, it will release high amount of dopamine again. So meaning that the synaptic cleft, the dopamine concentration is only can increase, cannot decrease, because already blocked. Cocaine already blocked that. Not that. So that is why that the people that consume cocaine, they are like very highly energetic, very sure, very highly energetic compared to normal people. And then why we cause addiction, where in normal situation, postsynaptic membrane, when they receive the abnormality of the signal from the dopamine, the receptor will be reduced. It will reduce the amount of receptor to prevent the action potential is trigger and trigger again. So once they already once the binding receptor of the postsynaptic neuron is decreased, it will cause the addiction occur. Because now why cause addiction? Because your binding receptor on the postsynaptic neuron is already very little. So you want to trigger action potential for postsynaptic neuron is very difficult now. So if the dopamine in normal situation, if you not consume cocaine, in normal situation, your dopamine, like in normal situation, maybe in one neural signal, it will release only 5 dopamine only. But since you already addict with the cocaine, you consume cocaine, so there are maybe 20 or 30 dopamine in your synaptic cleft, and then it will trigger the action potential of the postsynaptic neuron bind to the dopamine receptor at here. Okay, so at the long time, your dopamine receptor will decrease. Maybe got 10, it will decrease to only 5, only 2. Got 10, decrease until 2. So if you only 2, meaning that if you imagine that the receptor is the binding site of the dopamine, and dopamine when bind to the receptor, it will trigger action potential. So since your binding receptor now is very little, you want to trigger action potential now is very high, very low now. You need to have a high amount of dopamine at there. So you want to overcome this, you need to consume cocaine again. So that you can maintain the high concentration of dopamine. If not, at normal situation, you will not release high amount of dopamine one. So maybe in addicted people, they already containing 2 binding receptor at the postsynaptic neuron, it require maybe 50 dopamine to trigger the action potential. But in normal situation, you only release 10 dopamine. So at the same time, so cannot, and it will not accumulate at here. Because the cocaine not block there. So once the dopamine bind to the receptor, it will uptake again. So you cannot maintain the high concentration of dopamine at the synaptic cleft. So at the end, if you want to overcome this problem, you need to trigger the action potential, you need to consume cocaine. So that is why that one of the reason that the people that consume cocaine is easily to be addicted. Karena dia tak boleh control. Memang tak boleh control. You cannot control yourself, because this is a natural process in your body. Because your binding receptor on your neuron is very in little amount already. And then you need to take a time, very long time, to let the binding receptor increase in normal situation. But at that kind of direction is very difficult, because during that period that you not consume cocaine, your binding receptor cannot trigger the action potential already, because it's too little. So normally this is the explanation that you need to write in essay. So yeah, I already mentioned all that. Okay, next is about the QA. So normally, QA actually is one type of the drug. Normally is highly poison compared to cocaine, because cocaine will not cause the people die immediately compared to QA. QA, if the person is directly people or animal get the QA inside your body, you will directly die. Why? Because it has the similar shape to acetylcholine one. So generally it is using the hunting. Normally in using hunting lah. So how its function is that QA has a similar shape to the acetylcholine, so that you will remember it contain the similar shape to acetylcholine, so it will bind to the acetylcholine receptor because it's containing similar shape. So it will inhibitor of the acetylcholine. So it will bind to acetylcholine receptor, so that in normal situation should be the acetylcholine bind to acetylcholine receptor. But for now, no. QA will bind to it. So once the QA bind to it, because QA is not the neurotransmitter, so it will not trigger any action potential. So no action potential occur, or action potential occur, so your no calcium ion will be released inside the cytosol. So your sarcoplasmic reticulum will not release calcium ion, so that no muscle contraction. So this one will cause that your muscle is not unable to contract, and it will result the condition we call as flaccid paralysis, meaning that the animal or the human that already get infected this QA, it will directly cannot move. Not die, it will not die, but it will directly cannot move. Karena muscle tak boleh contract. You know that if you want to walk, all the muscles should be contract. If no contraction, you cannot walk. So you cannot walk. So for now, when you get infected with the QA, so no muscle contraction and you cannot move, and then you will directly falling down. So this condition we known as flaccid paralysis. Okay, so that's all for the mechanism. So I already finished up the first topic, the 9.1 nervous system. Okay, so